Very special media day at Warriors headquarters heading into the 2015-2016 season. Lawrence Scott, Tim Roy, and Andrew Bogut on set with us here. And Andrew, what was summer like back home?
Well, it was winter first, though.
See,
it was cold. But,
thank you for. Okay.
It was busy. Look, a couple of weeks to celebrate it. Gone out to Australia and caught up with family and friends, and then I was a part of the Australian national team, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to celebrate it. That's just kind of stay in shape and not get too out of shape, and then. Look, the game there is getting bigger and bigger every year. We've got more and more NBA players from Australia now, and winning our championships, obviously the pinnacle of our sport. So definitely was all over the place for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's the man of winter. He's always in winter.
Yeah,
stuck in winter perpetually. I guess I didn't realize that.
One of the things that we reflect on when you look back at the season that the Warriors had, and I thought of you because of the fact that first round had to play a big front line with New Orleans with Davis and Ashik and those guys. Second round, what are you going to say about Zebo and Gasol, and then Dwight Howard, and then you got Mozgov. I mean, you had your work cut out for you in those 4 series.
Yeah, it was. Look, obviously in the finals we went small towards the end and it won us a championship, but the first 3 rounds were tough physically inside. Draymond and myself had to battle, Anthony Davis, Ashik, Gasol, Randolph, Dwight, some big bodies down there, and guys that generally aren't necessarily finesse guys that are actually trying to hit you and put you in the basket. So it was a tough series, and we knew to beat those teams that we had to clog up the paint and be good defensively, and we were.
Was there anything that you could compare in your life to the championship?
Look, I won a gold medal down to 19s, which you can't really, it's apples and oranges, but that was a very special one for me because Australian, generally internationally in basketball, don't win a lot of medals. So,
right.
But an NBA championship is something you'll remember forever, and it's a pinnacle, and the pinnacle of basketball. It's the toughest competition in the world, and only when you really think about it and you break it down, 15 guys a year get that opportunity. It's 150 guys every 10 years. So you break those numbers down, and you're part of an elite group.
Continuing the success, what do you think some of the keys are in moving into this next season and just the years ahead to have this level of success that we're enjoying now?
For us, the key is staying healthy. If we stay healthy, we feel like we can beat anybody. Everyone's talking about now repeat and all this. Look, we're focusing on this season. Championship was great, but media day now, camp. It's time to forget about that. It's more about the media and everyone else to talk about. We need to focus on trying to win our next game coming up and just keep doing that. I think that's where we were really good last season. We didn't really look too far ahead. We didn't look too far behind. I think Coach Kerr kept us in the moment. And that's very important, over the course of a long NBA year.
How was it with playing for Coach Kerr in the sense where, practices had a combination of fun and work in there? It seemed like he had a pretty good handle on each guy and keeping the lines of communication open.
Yeah, and look, you can be the best X and O's guy in the NBA, but if you can't manage personalities, egos, and different people, and know that, hey, I can go up to this guy and yell at him, and swear at him, or do whatever.
Yeah.
This guy I can't do that with. This guy I can do it a little bit with, and I think Coach Kerr understands that. There's a psychology of sports, the psychology of basketball, and he really understands that, and a lot of coaches don't. There's a lot of coaches that should be still coaching in this league today, X's and O's wise, but they just couldn't manage personalities and manage people, and that's a big part of it.
What are you able to kind of think back on this past season that was something that'll always stick with you?
Just winning it. I mean, look, we genuinely believe from the start that we had a chance to win a championship. Most teams preseason come in and they say, let's win a ring. And sometimes I've been on teams before where, we're stretching it a little far. It's a great goal, but let's try to build year by year. But we genuinely believe from the start, and it just all came together, man. It's just, when you talk to guys that have won championships, the general consensus is it's a perfect storm of things go right. And we had a bit of luck. We had some games where we hit some buzzer beaters. We had games where we were down 20 in the fourth, came back and won. We didn't really have an injury-plagued season for anybody. Coach managed minutes. It was a perfect storm, and it got us all the way to the pinnacle.
I have the handy-dandy Warriors pocket schedule here, and it says that coming up on October 27th is opening night against New Orleans. Are you trying to keep yourself from thinking about that and thinking about walking out there and getting your ring?
Look, camp's very important for us right now, but obviously that's going to be a very emotional night. And I think we know going into that game that most teams that get their rings end up getting smacked by 30 usually. So I guess that's a motivation for us to come out and get that win. But it's an emotional night for us, the fans, our family, the coaches, everyone, especially with this organization. I think not having a lot of success the last 20, 30 years to win a championship and just the success the Bay Area's had as a whole, for us to be a part of it is a great privilege.
Great stuff. We can't wait. It's going to be huge
It's gonna be
tonight.
fun.
Andrew,
Yeah,
thank you
should
so
be
much
great.
for joining
Thanks.
us.
Cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, fun talking with Andrew Bogut, and you think about opening night and all the festivities to come. We've got an opening night 4-pack available for you. It includes the opening night game against the New Orleans Pelicans, plus Western Conference showdowns against the LA Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Utah Jazz. Wow, opening night, a championship banner unveiling, a ring ceremony, and a few other special surprises are in store. Call 888-GSW-HOOP and press 1 or visit Warriors.com for more information. And of all the things, Tim, that we're looking forward to about opening night, what's kind of piquing your interest?
It's just watching the reaction of the players when they get their championship rings, to see that banner, which has not been unfurled, a championship banner in 40 years up at Oracle Arena. That's going to be fun for the fans. And just having that celebration. Now, granted, they have to go and play the game afterwards, but I think the celebratory part of it is going to be the highlight for me.
We talked with Warriors president Rick Welts about that night and his expectations for all of what's to come. Take a listen.
I think the emotion that'll run through the building that night will be just extraordinary. It's a chance for everyone who is on this journey, and I'm including the 20,000 people who will be in the building that night and a national television audience as well, to really relive it again. And the joy, the struggle, the wins, the losses, everything that went into last season, in that little ceremony before the game starts. I think there'll be a lot of us trying to hold back a tear or two.
Now that you've had some time to take a deep breath and reflect on what last season was, what sticks with you?
Probably the fact that there hasn't been a time to take a deep breath and reflect back. Things have moved so quickly since that happened. Really, it seems like yesterday. And I think that it's fun to listen to people when you're out in the community and talking to people about what it meant to them, what this Warriors team represented, because I think it helps put it into context for us. It's one thing to be going through it in the moment. It's another thing to be learning about how other people experienced it and what joy they derive from that journey. And I think that more than anything else, has elevated the experience because it meant so much to so many people. Not only how it happened, but what it represented to people in a community that hadn't experienced anything like that in such a long period of time, and the players and coaches that took us on that amazing trip that represented, I think, everything great about what you would aspire to as a sports team, and that really translated and resonated with people who were on that journey with us.
Media Day at Warriors headquarters. Lawrence Scott, Tim Roy, and one of the newest Warriors, Jason Thompson. But you had a big weekend this past weekend, checking out Alcatraz, stopping by KGO ABC 7. How are things going? How are you feeling the Bay?
It's been good. One, it's my first time in a different organization, so, came a couple weeks earlier before training camp just to kind of get my feet wet, learn the cities, I found a place to stay, and we're working out with a good amount of my new teammates as well. So just getting comfortable, learning, the offense and defense, and learning, about this organization.
How bittersweet was the trade in this sense? You get traded to Philadelphia. That's home for you, basically. And so you're close to home, but then you get traded to the Warriors, the defending champions. You get to play with the Splash Brothers. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was definitely one heck of a month of July. Like I said, I've been in one organization for the past 7 years. Then getting traded to a team that you grew up watching, thinking that I had to change my phone just because all the people are asking for tickets and season tickets and all that type of stuff. And then, like you said, going to an organization that just won a championship. So taking that all in, especially in 1 month, was a lot. But it's a blessing. It's God's plan for me to be here. I definitely believe that I'm here in good hands and excited for this new opportunity. Usually,
when we acquire a player, when the Warriors pick up a player, we kind of school them on how Oracle is. But you've been here enough. You know, right? You know
Yeah,
about
yeah, of course. We play you guys, 4 times, playing in Oracle, 2. And, there's been history. I guess the last time you played you guys with Clay, getting 37 in that court. I'm glad that, basketball is not an individual sport, so I can't take the blame for that. But like I said, I mean, you just tell from the energy of the fans and, how they always been here through thick and thin, when times were tough, and then obviously now when it's sky high.
So, training camp is right here upon us, media day, the first day of training camp essentially, and in a training camp in the NBA, and you're entering your 8th season in the NBA, so you've been through several of these. What can be established? I mean, what do you hope to get out of this training camp personally and working with these guys? And then what can the team kind of come together and do during this time period?
Well, for me, one, you got to know, the system and know how Coach Kerr, coaches offensively and defensively, and you have to learn that regardless of what I could bring to the table. You kind of have to learn of what, because like you said, it's a team coming off a championship, because obviously the things that they did worked. And then, adding additions and things like that can only, help us, especially because other teams added other guys as well too. So I'm excited, for the opportunity. Training camp really helps just because, you're learning the different, systems offensively and defensively, and just gelling with the guys and new players.
How excited are you? You had a couple of tough years up in Sacramento when things didn't go your way. How excited are you to join this team?
Yeah, well, tough years in Sac is an understatement, I could say. Having 7 coaches in 7 years, having at least over 180 teammates that I can name, and 2 different ownerships. The list goes on.
That's going to pass me some time on a plane flight, I guarantee you. I'm going to find out all 180.
So that right there has been tough. But like you said, excited to be a part of this organization, coming off a championship. You could just tell from right when I came off the elevator of the warm welcome that I got. I know they didn't have to do that, so that just meant a lot for me, and I knew the type of situation I'm getting myself into.
So I asked you about Alcatraz this past weekend and getting to tour. And the last time I did it was maybe 20 years ago. I took the audio tape, and I was telling somebody about it semi-recently. It's like, hey, if you go to Alcatraz, they'll show you the cell that the Birdman was in. They said, Chris Anderson was at Alcatraz? No, different Birdman. But did you get a chance to...
Yeah, I mean, it was great. One, I got to, ride ship to Alcatraz. So that got to go with the captain. And I was the captain for a moment, which was a great experience. They welcomed me with open arms, so they got to take me, like you said. I got to see Birdman's cell, got to see the medical side of it, the jail cell. We opened and closed the jail cells, and saying rack 'em and all that type of stuff. I mean, it was a great experience, and one that I'll never forget.
Cool stuff. Jason, welcome again. Thank you so much for being here and joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Best of luck all season long. Great stuff here today.
Thank you.